We're live. I'm Brannalene. I'm here with Julie Loyd today, and you've tuned into the Warming House May Soiree. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the Warming House, just a little bit about the Warming House while people trickle in. We are a nonprofit music venue in South Minneapolis. We have hosted 150 shows a year, about 100 community events a year. Many of those shows are with 2 performers, so you can only imagine how many performers we've presented, which feels so good. We turned 4 the other day. Yay! So sometimes it feels like we've been here for like 40 years, and sometimes it feels like it's been just like 2 minutes. And I decided to throw this together. Every single day in May, we're presenting new music at 4 o'clock. It's happy hour. It's 4th birthday. And we'll start off with little interviews, and then sometimes we're going to have guest bartenders. And yeah, right. Or, people teaching us about how to make kombucha. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
No guest bartenders today, though.
No guest, sorry. We should have had like a mimosa situation, because that's like the Mother's Day thing, mimosa.
I did have one earlier today, so time shift and we're all good.
Perfect, awesome. So every day at 4, we'll be here for you on Facebook, on YouTube, and then we're just keeping these up just so that you can go back and watch or share or whatever. So today we have Julie Loyd.
Yay!
Yay! Julie is an old friend. I think we met like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We're getting old.
2001. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long time.
So 19 years ago, and Julie toured in her 20s, just like I toured in my 20s, and then she got onto other adventures, like being a mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
And then recently she was talking about wanting to play some more regional venues and all that, and we were talking about her getting back into it. She was posting videos, and then the world shut down.
Yeah.
So even though she hasn't played at the Warming House, we were very happy to present her. How are you? How are you doing during this quarantine time, Julie Loyd?
I am at this point. It's so my new normal that it's like I don't even. It's hard to even like stress the stuff that is the abnormal stuff anymore. Like even the thought of going back to a new way of being, that's the old way of being, feels so different that it's like I don't, it's even hard to believe that we're going to get there. So at this point, I'm hunkered down. My family and I have a nice, home, and we're comfortable, and that's all you can really ask for. So
good, yay.
Yeah.
So you're broadcasting from like your music room, your like little studio.
Yes. So this is something I've been wanting for a long time, is a room to call my own that is music oriented. And so it's been nice because at least for me, I need my space to be creative. And so I've been able to really take the time to actually write a lot more lately. And, I make my little Thursday night dates for myself, and I come in here and I just hole up and I light candles and, whatever, burn some sage, whatever it is I need, whatever hippie trope I need to pull from. So it's been really good, and it's perfect for, hosting live streams. So
yeah, there you go. So you've been writing new songs. Have you been able to like write during this time too? Because everybody that I'm talking with, either they're like massively creative or the same, or just like totally shut down. It's like extremes. It's weird.
It's interesting. I did, I'm trying to think. There was a song, it's not one that I'm going to play today, but there is one song that I wrote recently. And I can't remember if I started writing it right before or right after, but like I've been writing that. I've been getting a lot of, enjoyment from that, but it has nothing to do with this time. Mm-hmm. And I think for me that like, I'm personally called to write about this moment, at least not yet. Mm-hmm. I think it takes enough of my energy just to live it. I'm right. Yeah.
I'm definitely in the same boat. Like I have no interest in writing a quarantine song. Just be and get through it. Yeah.
I
hear you. I have been asking kind of silly questions. You don't know this about the Warming House yet, but we have traditions of a tradition of asking everybody one kind of silly question as a way of introducing them live on stage. So I have a couple of those for you. Let's see, which one do I want? Oh, yeah, okay. Who is one artist that you would like to have breakfast with, living or dead?
So it's going to be it's hard to say anybody other than Jonathan Brooks. She's just my all-time favorite.
No, she's our neighbor.
Too, but what's that?
She's our neighbor.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I knew she lived. You know, I was supposed to do one of the cool things I did last year was I did a songwriting retreat with Dar Williams, which is like, you know, the end of the world in a good way.
I was like so close to being on that one too, and I just couldn't make it happen.
So it was amazing. And so that kind of like lit a fire in me. I'm like, okay, who else can I just like sit at the feet of? Like honored for so long. And so I was supposed to do a Jonathan Brooke retreat. Maybe even it was like one of these weekends in May. And of course that got moved. So, you know, later on this year, maybe I will get to sit and chat with Jonathan. That would be really, really fun.
Let us know how it goes, okay? I'm a huge fan too. I just finally learned one of her songs in like this red, like crazy open tuning. And I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I can play this now. Like thinking about listening to Jonathan Brooke 15 years ago. And I'm like, I can never play guitar like that, you know, which is so fun. Yeah, she's a neighbor, like quick story. I think I was out on tour. I was out at Folk Alliance or something, and I just like was checking on the venue. So I turned on the security camera on my phone, and I was like looking at what was going on. And here comes Jonathan Brooke, like walking up to the ticket counter. I was like, she's there, and I'm not. She was at the Antje Duvakot show, and cool. That's so lovely. Just like seeing that just made my heart open. So that was cool. Okay, I'm going to skip the other silly question to the very end and ask you about momhood because it is Mother's Day. Tell us about your kiddos.
So I've got 2 kiddos, 6 and 4, and they're watching right now. Hi, Eden. Hi, Lennox. And yeah, they're awesome. They're both super different. The older one is, you know, a big performer in her own right. So, you know, I'm sure she will have one of these live streams of her own one of these days. And the younger one is a, you know, stubborn Spitfire, you know, just awesome kid, big personality. So, yeah, it's been a really, you know, such a gift. They're both doing great. So, and, you know, today, Mother's Day, they, you know, went with my wife, but they got, you know, donuts and they, oh, wait, okay. Mother's Day crown on the back says, you can see it. Mother's Day Queen.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I mean, I basically won the best kids. Sorry, everybody else, but. I'm
sure everybody thinks that.
I know.
Happy Mother's Day to every mother out there. Happy Mother's Day to stepmoms too. I'm a stepmom. And yeah, happy Grandma Day to grandma people and all that good stuff. It's a good day.
Yeah, and to that point, the other thing I, you know, just been thinking about a lot today is I know Mother's Day is also a really hard day for a lot of people. You know, I have some friends who've either, you know, lost children or lost parents. I know my mom passed away a long time ago now, back in the late 90s. So, you know, Mother's Day is always a little bit sort of bittersweet. I know for me, and I'm sure for lots of other people too. So just.
Absolutely. Thank you for recognizing that. Yeah, you said it really well. Yeah. So. I was trying to think of some like lovely transition into the next awkward question.
How awkward is the question?
No, it's not awkward. It's just fun.
Okay.
Were you going to say something?
I'll say something when you're done with your questions.
Okay, sounds good.
There's a comment I want to make before I.
Are you so ready for kind of the final question then?
Let's do it.
Okay. I just want to know. It's my favorite question to ask all artists, actually, because it reveals something about your personality, who you were as a kid. I want to know, what is the first recording you ever purchased?
Oh, ever purchased?
Was it a cassette tape or was it a CD first? Because we're like almost the same age.
It was a CD, but it was like when CDs were just beginning to be a thing.
And they had the huge security things on it when you went to the store. Do you remember those? It was like,
because they were so precious. Now it's like getting rid of a CD. Yeah, so it was 2 CDs that I got at the same time. One was Matchbox 20.
Yes.
The first album, and then the other one was Natalie Imbruglia.
Oh yeah. Wait, what was the song?
She's one of goes, I'm torn, I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel. That's the only song on it that was any good, but it was a really good song.
Yeah, that was a really good song. Totally. Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. That's awesome. Matchbox 20, I feel like that's a little embarrassing, right?
No, I have no guilt about any of this stuff.
Actually, another artist answered Matchbox 20 the other day. She was going to do a Matchbox 20 cover too, but I don't know. She bailed on that.
So I mean, when I was in 7th grade, my favorite artist in the world was Michael Bolton, and I still think he's got some skills. So I'm not going to feel any shame about Matchbox 20.
I get it. That's awesome. I'm just about to turn it over to you. I'll get off the screen in a moment. I just want to say thank you all for tuning in. There are a lot of people out there. This is wonderful. We're doing all these shows for free, but if you feel like tipping or donating, that is fantastic. I'll put some links in the comments. We're using StreamYard today. That's how we can get 2 people on a screen and stream to 2 places. So Julie can see your comments, but she can't see like who's joined. So please feel free to say hi in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. That's always fun. And know that we're here with new music every day at 4 o'clock Central, that is. You're on the East Coast, so I had to make sure to, clear that up. So
what I wanted to, my final comment, before I then talk and sing for another half an hour,
right.
Is forget the transition I was going to use for this, but regardless, I remember when, I hadn't seen you in person in a really long time, but whatever it was like, I don't know, 5 years ago or something. And I remember at the time that I was struggling a lot with this idea of, as a musician or as someone who had been a professional musician, in which the metrics I was looking at about success were how many names were on my email list and how many CDs did I sell and how many people came to the show, that once I then was in a situation where I, had a stable job that was my, daytime life, that it was hard for me to know how to perform and how to, it sounds silly, but how to understand the meaning of it in a new way. And I remember I was talking with you and you were telling me about it, how you had recently gone to some concert. I don't know which one it was, but you were saying that you had struggled with that before. And then you went to this concert and you had such an impactful emotional connection to what was being done. And what I remember is you saying something like that you realized in that moment that other people might need your music in the same way that you needed that music in the moment. And that really stuck with me. And so anyway, I think that I've kind of had that rattling around in my head as I had been finding a way to get back into music and figure out what it means to me. And what I keep coming back to is it might mean something to somebody else. And so I'm going to keep making it because it might matter. It might matter whether I do or not. So everybody who's out there, and you're an artist or feel called to do that, somebody might need your art. So keep making it.
That's amazing. I love that. Now I have a final comment.
Not allowed. I'm sorry.
And I wrote this on a post today, but something you said really stuck with me. Something you said probably 18 years ago or so. But like I remember you looking at me and like I had been writing songs. I had been working on my first record. I was learning about music business, and you're like, you need to call yourself a singer-songwriter. You need to call yourself a musician. I was like, oh no, I can't. You know, like something in me just felt like I couldn't own that as a title in my life. And you really like pushed me on that. So thank you for that. And now, even though I'm not performing and I'm not, you know, I've taken a break from my own music, not the writing part, but I still call myself a singer-songwriter, and I think I always will. I mean, it's huge. This is why we present mostly singer-songwriters at the Warming House. We have a really small audience because no matter if you're playing to like 2 people or to like 100 people, it's like, yeah, it might matter. It will matter, right?
Yeah.
So glad you're still writing. So glad you're able to share with us today. We have a bunch of people watching, so thank you, thank you. I will now turn the stage over to you. Ready?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers. Julie Loyd, everyone.
So the other thing that I do want to say, just as a continuation of that last point, is in being fortunate right now, I know there are a lot of musicians out there right now who are, you know, doing music for their living, and they really need every last, you know, cent they can get. And also venues like the Warming House, making sure that they can do what they need to do. Just wanted to let you know, as the kind of tip jar link goes around whenever that happens, that all of that money I'm going to be donating back to the Warming House so that they can keep doing the work that they're doing. So please support, and I'm happy to spend that back in to the venues that are making live music happen. And I hope one day to be able to play it live in person. So this song is a new song. It's an unrecorded one, but it's about really kind of the whole journey that I've been on. It's called The Ladder. I'll lay it out for you begin. Don't play the game if you ain't gonna win. You got the smarts, darling, but where you are, it's more than heart to gas up the car. So shrug off the bad luck, look up at the ladder for you. Leave your guitar and your pen, you'll need both of your hands just to guide you. It's nothing much, you don't need them anyway on your way up. They're just some things that you can't change. All that you are, and the choices you make. Look at you now, honey, got quite a view. The birds are jealous of your altitude. You're on the fast track and like how it feels. The wind in your hair dancing backwards in heels. So shrug off the bad blood, look up at the ladder for you. None of your friends understand and they can't afford to. It's nothing much, you don't need them anyway on your way up. They're just some things that you can't take. All that you are the choices you make. From where you are, the path down is far from a straight line. Winds all around like a labyrinth of clouds till you find out too late. Maze maker made a mistake, and the only way out is the way that you came. You missed the rush, the laughter on your face. You missed the touch of a friend's embrace. You missed the strum, a thumb upon the string on your way up. You're missing everything. there's some kind of applause. But I'm just going to assume you all are clapping in your homes. Hello. I have been seeing a bunch of people saying hello in there. Sorry, I can't say hi to everybody. I saw Jim. I saw Jen. I don't know who else, but I'm sure. I think I saw Lisa in there. So hi, everyone. Thanks for listening live. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to be using all kinds of instruments today because it is easier when they're right by you and you can just pick them up and put them on without needing a roadie to do so for you, which I never had. So we're having a lot of banjo love today. I hope you guys are on board. Oh, I see the clapping. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hi, Lee. Hi, Greg. Hi, Grace. So in the great folk tradition, I've got a few political songs that I've written over time, and particularly over the last few years, I've had some discomfort with our current political environment. And so for a long time, I had a hard time to know kind of what to write in a way that wasn't going to just sound like super complainy. And I started writing this song where I was basically just trying to really understand, right, how what would bring somebody to feel like they needed to vote for someone like Trump to get to a better world. And so this song was written trying to come from that point of sort of deep empathy. And then at the same time, there was this really interesting speech that AOC gave right around the whole white supremacist marches, which literally hit very close to home for me. I grew up in Charlottesville, Virginia. And what she was saying to these people who were in these marches is, whenever you want to come over to our side, we're waiting for you. We will love you. Come, as soon as you can kind of see the light or see another way of being, we're here to welcome you. And the phrase that she used is something like, you're not too far gone. And so this song is called Too Far Gone. Gather round, a big man in town. He's got some stories to tell you, and you've got some aches you've been dying to cure. And he's got some snake oil to sell you. Ignore the burn, ignore the smell. It's just this country's never treated you well. It's hard to be poor and be pale. And there's nothing going on here since the plants shut down. Move the jobs out of town. The machines keep the beat of the line. He's quick to point out that your neighbors are brown. It happened about the same time. But you are not alone. We are waiting for you, and you're not too far gone. If you're coming, come on. Now your Robin Hood's been making it good. Says it'll soon trickle down. What it takes to be great is what you're willing to take when there isn't enough to go around. That way you're willing to punch when they're down. But you are not alone. We are waiting for you, and you're not too far gone. If you're coming, come on. And who doesn't like to watch puppets on TV? You can barely see the strings, teaching the difference between truth and loyalty. Before his next trick, he'd turn fact into fiction, make every fear into your new addiction. But you are not alone. We are waiting for you, and you're not too far gone. If see you there, so you're not too far gone. If you're coming, if you're coming, come on. So I do want to sing some songs that have something to do with motherhood while we're all here together celebrating Mother's Day in one way or another. I was mentioning before about how I went to this Dar Williams retreat last year, and you know, she was just one of my first favorites ever that got me really excited about singing and songwriting and playing guitar. And I remember hearing her Peter Pan song when I was a boy, and it's so amazing. And then I was like, then I heard another folk singer sing about Peter Pan, and then another one. I'm like, oh, this is just part of being the club. You have to write a song about Peter Pan, and then you're in. And so this was my attempt at writing a Peter Pan song, but it's from Wendy's perspective. Which, by the way, little memo to everyone, there is a movie coming out that if I had any say or pull within the movie community, this song would be a part of. But it's called The Lost Girls, and it's basically exactly the premise of this song. So I'm really excited about that to come out. Just all about what happens to the women that Peter Pan leaves behind. Where I once saw a thimble, now I see him. Close my window, where he came in, but I am older now, ever so much more than 20. And he's built a neverland of never-ending stories. And I have told your stories 100 times, made the reason fit to rhyme. Look how you haven't grown. Now I have children of my own. Leave their windows alone. Before you came to me, I was complete, had solid ground to rest my feet. But all the things you've shown, things I never had known. Is it better to fly and fall than never to have flown at all? 'Cause when you've been a queen before 13, you're hard to please by little things. Out here there's fewer thrones, but the pirates hold their own. Is it better to fly and fall than never to have flown at all? See my little one, see magic things in lightning bugs and Halloween. It's best they never know where magic truly grows. Leave their windows alone. Is it better to fly and fall and never to have flown? Better to fly and fall and never to have flown. Better to fly and fall and never to have flown at all. seal. I open my window, where here came in. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, David. I'm glad you like the song. When I first started playing banjo, I had no idea what I was doing, which I think some of the most fun songs come out of instruments you actually don't know how to play. So this is a song that I wrote with a pick. And a bunch of chords. I don't know if they're really chords or not. So, you know, one of the things about this song is I in my business school applications, actually, as I was transitioning out of music, I had to kind of reflect on, you know, myself and what sort of made me who I was. And I remembered some stories my family used to tell me about how when I was really little, and I would, you know, try to get away with something or, you know, just doing something against the rules. And they'd sort of say, why are you doing that? And I would say, well, I'm a girl. Girls can do anything. And like, I just as a child didn't really understand that was, you know, meant to be sort of a consolation prize or sort of don't feel bad about being a girl. Girls can do anything. Instead, I was like, oh, cool. Girls can do anything. Let's get on it. And so this is kind of in that vein of, you know, what are all the things you could do if no one ever told you couldn't? It's called Astronaut. I'm gonna be an astronaut. Show me the sea where I'll crash, not afraid to fly, not afraid to fall, not afraid of all I haven't tried. I'm gonna be leader of the band. I'll keep the beat with a silver tone in my hand. They may not understand. I'll march for the high school fans while our team still has a chance. Ba-da-dum-dum-dum, ba-da-dum-dum, ba-da-dum-dum-dum, ba-da-dum-dum-dum, ba-da-dum-dum. I'm gonna lead a big top of life, full of liars to tame, breathing fire and high wires, no net below, arms well open wide. I'm gonna learn to fly by 25. Ba-da-dum-dum-dum, ba-da-dum-dum. I'm gonna be mortal God, second coming, sent to save us all, not afraid to fall, not afraid to rise, not afraid of all I haven't tried. Gonna put all my dreams in a window box with room to breathe. They won't get crushed or dirty. Gonna give them a view of the city. kids are at school. Give my girls no apologies, saying girls can do anything, and hope they take it literally. Hey, hey, actually wrote both of those mother songs before actually being a mother. I haven't written many songs about being a mother afterwards. I think maybe I get enough of that in my day-to-day. Back to the point around not writing any quarantine songs. Oh, mandolin fun time now, because once again, why not? Super fun. I know I can't actually ask the audience this, but any Killing Eve fans out there? There's got to be at least one. So I've been really digging Killing Eve lately, in a really dark, twisted, but it's so great, awesome way. And it inspired this next song. But how sometimes you can love somebody so much that you really want to kill them and watch them die. I know it's a little dark, but I guess just hang with me for a little while, and then if you haven't actually seen the show, go watch the show, and then maybe come back and watch the stream again. I can see you there in the hallway as my shadow darkens the doorway. I can see you choosing the hard way, makes it easy for me. The blade is warm in my right hand. Can't you see the beauty of my plan? I could be your private assassin. For you, I'd do it for free. Come closer, wanna hear your heartbeat. It's over, let me put you down. Come closer, wanna hear your heartbeat. It's over, let me put you out of our misery. You can try to sneak out the window. I know all the places that you go. Turn your head when the wind blows. I'll be there in the weeds. Are those distractions a blessing? All the guests you're undressing, but every knock keeps you guessing for the trick or the treat. Come closer, wanna hear your heartbeat. It's over, let me put you down. Come closer, wanna hear your heartbeat. It's over, let me put you out of our misery. it's over, let me put you down. And that song in no way endorses stalking, despite it seeming to the contrary. So I'm going to do one. Okay, good. Sarah, with you on Killing Eve. I'm glad to know that. We can talk about that more later. Amazing. So I'm just going to do one more song for you here because I'm not going to leave you with that, with that taste in your mouth. I'm going to give you a happy song. So before I do just want to say thank you again to the Warming House and to Brianna for thinking of me for today, and for everybody for coming in. You guys are so great. Hi, James. Hi, Dad. So thank you all again. This is so much fun. End with some banjo fun here. I can see I'll always be here for you. Old and gray, come what may, I'll carry you. It's amazing what this little human heart can do. I know what it is. Don't worry. You may think I can't bring myself to love, but I have seen the amazing things your heart's made of. The highways and harmonies that move along the blood. Take my word, I have heard it tell it too, about the kind of love that'll leave you blind, the way love's prone to do. It's amazing what this little heart can make you do. So baby, you can try. Have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me. You may be the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. You may find beauty in this life can be distracting when you can't trust in yourself, trust in me. Yeah, have a little faith in me. Hey, 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 yeah, have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me. Thank you all very, very, very much. Do please go check out the Venmo for the Warming House. Again, everything you put towards this show today is all going to go directly to them and the work they're doing in keeping live music alive. Thank you all so much. This is such a pleasure. Thanks again to the Warming House, Brianna, for booking me on this awesome, fun live stream. And I will see you all later. Thanks so much. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.